Skeletor Giannetti!
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Joe Skeletor Giannetti. I'm finally out here putting out new content on YouTube just like you guys have been harassing me about. I've been trying to focus on it, but now that we're in between fights and we're focusing on the wedding, there's no better time than for the UFC 308 main card. We're going to be breaking down the main card. I'll be giving you my picks, and towards the end, I'm going to toss out a couple parlays. Some might be a bit of a stretch. Some I think are a bit more likely. Hopefully we all come out of this making a bag and watching some exciting fights. All right, first fight up, we've got Shara Magomedov versus Armen Petrosyan. He is 33. Shara obviously being 30. Still the hype train, still the up-and-coming prospect for the UFC. You know, he's got the fake eyeball, can only fight in Abu Dhabi. You know, I have seen a lot of impressive things out of him. I do think he's a bit overhyped. You know, he's just not finishing guys the way I thought he would. You know, he's not really separating himself from the pack. Though he does throw a lot of impressive kicks. You know, he has a very long, rangy style. I'll know that's my preference. You know, for the hype that he gets, it makes you wonder, is it because he has one glass eye, which is super impressive. Me with one eye, don't know if I'd be fighting like him. But all that being said, I would like to see him start finishing guys, putting them away faster, impressively. You know, his last fight, he kind of gassed out closer towards the end. I do think it's kind of that Michael Pereira situation where, you know, throwing up flashy kicks, you're going to end up gassing yourself out. That being said, I do think he gets the job done. I do think he wins the fight. Probably a decision, if not an early finish. I just, after the first round, I lose my confidence a little bit with him as far as finishes go. He is the shorter fighter by an inch, but he does have the 2-inch advantage, so I definitely see him staying long, trying to pick him apart, set up the kicks. He catches Armen early, but I could definitely see him stepping on the gas. I just don't want to see him gas himself out and blow it down for the next 2 rounds. Up next, we've got the undefeated Lerone Murphy versus Dan 50K Ige. I'm a huge fan of Dan Ige. You know, he's an absolute killer. Both of these guys are 33. It's crazy because I feel like we have a lot of people on this card that are looking at up-and-comers or looking like prospects, but they're 30, 33. You know, Shara's 30, Lerone's 33, but he's 14-0. Not really looked at as a prospect, but, you know, 14-0, you're talking about fighting the top 10. You're talking about chasing that title. And this could be a breakthrough fight for him. I don't really see guys putting Dan Ige away. He's a tough motherfucker. He's a BMF. You know, he'll fight anybody on short notice. You saw that with the Diego Lopez fight on just hours' notice. The dude walked out of his living room and walked into the arena. That being said, I do think that he does better against guys who are just throwing caution to the wind, that he can out-technique, outperform every bit of the way. Murphy's a little bit different, where I feel like he's also going to have that technique. He'll fight smart. He'll mix it up. You know, he'll hold him against the cage and gas him out if he needs to, or just win the rounds. Gun to my head, I'm going to say Murphy by decision. Though, I'd probably be happier if Ige won, because I hate rooting against Dan Ige. Next up, one of the biggest fights on the card, literally and figuratively. We've got Magomed Ankalaev and Alexander Rakic, I think. I'm going to go with that. You know, we got 6'3" and 6'4", both 32 years old. Rakic obviously has the 3-inch reach advantage, both orthodox. Man, I feel like Rakic is being slept on in this fight. He's a plus 300 underdog. I feel like everybody wants to see that Pereira Magomed Ankalaev fight. I think everybody is probably thinking Ankalaev is going to walk through him. I don't know, though. You know, I think Ankalaev, obviously, his background, where he's from, has the wrestling advantage. But it's a matter of if he's going to use it out the gate. Is he going to save it for when he gets a little bit more tired? You know, and his wrestling hasn't been as dominant as a Habib, as an Islam, though it's obviously still great. Magomed probably gets it done, but I don't think that the odds should be this way. If you're trying to make a little bit of money, Rakic might need to be in your parlay. Obviously the underdog for a reason, but I think plus 300 is kind of crazy. So Magomed, you're getting the probably unanimous decision. The fight that I'm looking forward to the most on this card, and I am for sure biased, so just take that note right now. Take everything I say from here on in with a grain of salt. Bobby Knuckles versus Khamzat Chimaev. First things first, I'm super biased on this one. I love both guys as fighters. I'm a fan of both of them. That being said, I've been rocking with Bobby Knuckles for years. I met him at one of the UFC Brooklyns before. Super nice guy. You know, when he fought Izzy, it was so hard because I love Izzy as a fighter too. So rooting against him or even being indifferent sucks. That being said, my biased opinion, Bobby Knuckles gets it done and shocks the world once again. I know what everybody's saying. Khamzat's pressure out the gate. Khamzat's wrestling. Bobby Knuckles folded against Duplessis. But the cage time and the experience that Robert Whittaker has and who he's fought to be 27-7 is insane. You know what I mean? Like, he's had striking wars with Stephen Thompson. He got knocked out, but he was in there striking with Stephen Thompson in his welterweight days. He fought 2 5-round fights with Yoel Romero. He fought Adesanya twice. He's fought the current middleweight champ. He fought Paulo Costa. He got kicked bad against Paulo Costa, and he still was coming forward. He still won that fight. Bobby Knuckles is a dog. He had his off day against Duplessis. Not taking it from Duplessis, but I don't think Bobby Knuckles was at the best of his abilities that night. But that doesn't mean there's no danger from Khamzat, obviously. If he pulls a Kevin Holland, fake glove touch, double leg to the Darce, Anaconda, or gets his back to rear naked choke, obviously that's a problem. Khamzat's pace is also an issue, but he gets tired. And I don't know if he's going to find the success that he found against a Gilbert Burns and a short-notice Kamaru Usman coming up a weight class. I don't know if he'll find that success against Robert Whittaker. You can't just stand and try to bang with Robert Whittaker if you're Khamzat. I just don't think he has it on the feet. Obviously, he has the power to knock anybody out. These guys, everybody at this level has that power to knock anybody out with any punch. But isolated incident, one-punch power, setups included, flush, landing flush techniques, and catching Whittaker with a punch or kick he doesn't see coming. I don't see it coming out of Khamzat. I don't see that, Gerald Mearshart type knockout from Khamzat. I could see them getting into a war, and if that does happen, I don't think it's going to be great for Khamzat. I think he's going to fold. I think he's going to fade a little bit. If they do end up scrapping it out on the feet, I don't think it's going to end up great for Khamzat. I think he's going to slow down. I think he's going to start getting picked apart. And it's crazy because he's 13-0. He's undefeated. It's even picturing him losing is impossible because we've never seen it. But if anybody were to do it, I think it's Robert Whittaker, The guaranteed number 1 contender fight. Winner of this fight is fighting for the title next. I think it's Whittaker's fight to win. I think it's Khamzat's fight to lose. I'm also super biased. But yeah, I think that Whittaker's technique, I think his pressure, and I think his experience is going to be a huge factor. And the fact that he's getting slept on. I really do think that everybody thinks he's washed. And I would love to see him get the win. And I think his anti-wrestling is slept on. You know what I mean? I think that he has very good takedown defense. Minus the hideous Duplessis hip toss. We're not going to bring it up. Any other day, Robert Whittaker's takedown defense is phenomenal. He fought Yoel Romero twice. That being said, won't be surprised if Khamzat gets him down. I'm interested to see if Khamzat keeps him down. Khamzat's fought plenty of guys where they get back up. So it's going to be a super interesting fight. Biased opinion, Robert Whittaker. He's obviously plus 200. Take him on your parlay if you want to make a bag. Not guaranteed. Gun to my head, Robert Whittaker takes this fight in the later rounds or by decision. It's a 5-round fight, so this is going to be different for Khamzat. His cardio has to hold up. He's slowed down in 3-round fights. I don't know how he'll do in his first 5-round fight against Robert Whittaker. It's going to be tough. Like I said, super biased for this one, but that's what I think. The most stressful fight of the night, we've got the champ, 15-0, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, 26-7. Max obviously has the height advantage. They got the same reach, which is crazy. Both orthodox. Max, the BMF champ himself. Ilia Topuria, the undisputed featherweight champ. It's giving me a lot of Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor vibes. And not because Ilia Topuria is the next coming of Conor McGregor like he wants to be, but just, the up-and-coming guy that everybody thinks is the best thing ever. And then you have an OG like Max Holloway. I really do think that Max is getting slept on, though. But if anyone were to finish Max Holloway, I think it might be Ilia Topuria. Not just because he throws so hard, not just because he's got the long reach for his height. I do think that he has some of the best boxing technique in the UFC. That being said, this is not boxing. I've seen Topuria get dropped with head kicks. I've seen Topuria get cracked. We've seen Max get dropped once in his last fight. Who knows? Did Gaethje crack the chin of Max Holloway and now he comes in here and he gets knocked out by Topuria? Or is it just Max Holloway and Gaethje hits like a truck? He got dropped for the first time. It was bound to happen. Who knows? But if anybody was to knock Max Holloway stiff, unfortunately, it's probably Ilia Topuria. I personally just don't see it happening. The same way it's hard to see Topuria lose, it's hard to see Khamzat lose, and Shara Magomedov, because they're undefeated. I've never seen Max Holloway face down, ass up. I don't think this is going to be the fight that it happens. I always tell people that everybody's got a day, especially with the amount of damage that Max Holloway has taken in his career. But Max Holloway proves me wrong again and again and again. So this will really be a fight where does the technique of Ilia Topuria weigh more than the power of Justin Gaethje in the last fight? It might. I don't think it does, but it might. Gun to my head, I'm going to say the dog, Max Holloway. I think that as soon as the fight hits the later rounds, I think Max is going to start running away with it. I think it's super, super dangerous early on. I'm excited for this one. I'm stressed out about this one. It's going to be a crazy card from top to bottom, but I am excited to watch it. We're going to have the Fight Companion live here on my YouTube channel. Me and the boys are going to be watching it. Nice daytime card so we can watch after training, but I am excited. Official picks. Bring it to the bottom. Shara Magomedov, probably by decision. Lerone Murphy, also by decision. Magomed Ankalaev, I'm going to say he gets the finish, but I don't know if it's going to be a clean knockout. If anything, he tires him out, gets the choke or TKO because he's stuck. I'm going to say Robert Whittaker with the upset. I think everybody's going to be surprised. And I'm going to say Max Holloway takes his years of experience in the Blessed Express right back to dominance. 2 belts, BMF, UFC featherweight champion, and new. Those are my picks. Those are with my heart. Those are with my head. The last 2 fights, I'm a little biased on the last fight. I'm super biased on the Robert Whittaker fight. But those are where my heart is. Now, we've got the underdog parlay of the night. We've got the DraftKings parlay of the night. One's a stretch. One's a little bit more realistic, whether you agree or not. First, we're going to go with the underdog pick of the night. First things first, I think we've got Mitbek Oralbay. I think he's going to have less than 4 takedowns. He's a killer wrestler, but I do think if he gets his fight to the ground, it's going to be over and under 4 takedowns. Next, Max Holloway, higher than 82.5 significant strikes. It's Max Holloway. That's what he does. He lands significant strikes. He lands them from bell to bell. Whether he puts you away or not, he is beating the hell out of you the entire fight. Robert Whittaker, 45.5 significant strikes. I don't know if he puts Khamzat away, but if they end up scrapping it out on the feet, I think it goes 5 rounds. I think it goes to the decision, and I think that Whittaker lands over 46 significant strikes. And last but not least, I've got Shara Magomedov. I've got him for lower than 84.5 significant strikes. Same thing. I think his output slows down in the later rounds. I think he's either getting the early finish, or I think he's going to slow down in the later rounds and land a lot less significant strikes. So that's your parlay. 4 picks on Underdog. Use code GIANNETTIMMA and you can get matched up to $1,000 bonus. Next, we've got the DraftKings Money Parlay. This is all money line picks. This is the one that I think is the most realistic with a little bit of risk towards the end. But here we go. Bottom to top. I got Mitbek Oralbay at money line. Shara Magomedov. I've got Magomed Ankalaev. I had Saeed Nurmagomedov, but that fight's obviously scrapped. So the odds dropped a little bit. I've got Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, Max Holloway. 6 picks, $20, $444. That's my most realistic parlay for the night. Obviously, the last 2 are the risky ones, but I think the other ones are almost guaranteed locks. Now, here is the stretch as far as the parlays for the night. And this is the last one I'm going to give you. This is where I think the money's coming in for your boy, but it's a bit of a stretch. I've got Mitbek Oralbay, money line. I've got Shara Magomedov, also on the money line. I've got Max Holloway to win by any knockout, submission, or DQ. And I've also got Robert Whittaker to win, same as Max Holloway, any knockout, submission, or DQ. That's a total 4-pick parlay, $15 to win $830. I think I'm taking that one to the bank. But I'm crazy, and I like wasting money on parlays. All right, guys, that's my UFC 308 pay-per-view main card breakdown. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think's going to win? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm onto something? Let me know what you're picking for your parlays. Let me know if you're riding my parlays. And I'll see you guys for the Fight Companion live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time here on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be on YouTube more often. I know you guys have been on me, but I'm here.